Sorry, people walking in the background talking loud, just like me. So when you have a 15-man team, you got to count on everybody. Just like Tibbs always says, next man up, right? So he's the next man up. I know we're all looking at next topic here. Besides Grime, why is Grimes playing heavy minutes? Why is Cam not in it? I'm not one to say. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not in the back office teams, but based off what we're looking at, I think Tibbs has seen already what he can do. The front office has seen what he can do, how he can fit. But right now, this is a business move. If you're what you're seeing here, did they see enough that they would want to pay him a multi-year contract? From what you guys seen, you can see he's a good tease. He can develop. He shows some of his game overall developing, but him being 4 years in the league, you should be able to have some kind of consistency, even though you haven't had consistent minutes. There has to be some kind of move, something that you can do really well, being 4 years in the league. I also think, as good as a professional that he's being, saying he didn't command or ask for a trade, I do believe he wants a bigger role. He said he feels he can be a star coming off the bench, either for Atlanta or us, is not going to give him the opportunity to be that star. So I think he's looking for some place where he can go and play heavy minutes. That's my opinion. I don't know right off the bat. So I think that's where we're looking at here, that he wants to go to a team where he can be that dude. And I think the front office is doing a good job by keeping it close and seeing what opportunities they have for him and Evan. Evan's a professional, more experienced. The last couple of games we put him in, we need scoring. I really like Evan Fournier off the bench with our Mob Deep, coined by Raw Hebrew Remnant, Mob Deep the bench. I think him, Deuce, if Grimes is going to be starting, Obi, Hartenstein, stuff like that, I think that spreads out the offense. That gives us a very, very potent bench. So I think that's a good opportunity if we keep him, although I seriously doubt he stays. I seriously doubt. The main components you should be seeing moving would be Evan, Cam, and Rose. Rose says he wants to be here. Rose looks like he was lost the first step or another step because of his age and injuries. He has developed his shooting game. I just think that step to the drive is going to take a little more longer for him. If we do keep him, I would like to keep him fresh for playoffs. I think he'd be more of an X factor at that point in sporadic places that we need him. He's a veteran enough that he doesn't really need a role. He could be 6 men off the bench, create points, and do what you do. So if we can count on him for that in the postseason, I think that'll work well. When somebody doesn't have it going, just him and Evan to plug in and give us some kind of offense. I think that's what him and Evan would do. Although I think Evan's value would increase, so would Cam late January, early February, before the trade deadlines. Right at the end of January, I'll say February 10th. In that time frame, you're going to start seeing some movement. Teams that are closer, teams that are a little more desperate, that may need that extra firepower, want to move some dead weight. Either they're not doing too good or they need that firepower. They would trade for Evan. They'd give us some expiring contracts. So some of that they want to relieve, I think that's what we're going to be looking for if you do see a trade. Don't expect some major talent coming back our way. I believe we're going to be looking for more draft capital and more salary cap. I don't see a player really becoming our way, any major player. There's been some rumors here and there. I know a lot of people were talking about different players that they're looking at, but looking at salary, Ian Begley did mention Tobias Harris. I believe they were mentioning that because he's about 36 million, which is super high. But if I am correct, I believe this is the last year of his contract, or he may have one more. I think Philly could use some firepower and some youth. I don't know how much they have left in their draft. So could they use a Cam? And I think Cam, Evan, and Rose's salary matches right around that 36. So that would get rid of Tobias Harris, so they don't have to pay that money. They'd have one more year with Fournier. It is a 4-year deal, but the fourth year is a team option for the 3rd year. So basically they could waive that. They could waive Rose, and they could waive Cam and have that extra money to sign another better player for them that'll fit. So I think that's something that Philly would be interested in. Tobias Harris, his skill set would be something that we would be able to plug without giving away talent, if that trade would work as far as salary. If it does for salary, I think that would work for us. I think you move Grimes down to the bench. You move RJ to the 2, Jalen at the 1, obviously, Tobias to the 3, Randall at the 4, and Mitch at the 5. That'll be, I think, a very formidable playoff team with a very deep bench. So that move, I think, would move the needle quite a bit. Tobias is very experienced. He's a good 3-point shooter. Great height, great size. So some people don't see that.